You were ahead of the planning of this whole the investor forum. You were involved. You were in the investor forum, involved with the planning and everything. Tell us, how did it go? Did we achieve the objective, of organizing the investors forum?
Yeah, good morning to all. Yeah, the investor forum actually we achieved. We had a target, even though our target was not set too very, very high, put it at a very appreciable stage of target. We target over 150 participants, and we got more than 150 participants, both in person and online. So that was a boost for the sector. And you see, the thing here is that what we need to make the public know here is that the idea about the electricity investor forum. Energy is a very big sector, but our primary focus was on the electricity sector. So, and the reason being why we had this forum because we, at 2010, when we liberalized, when we enacted the energy law, which brought LEC as a player, as an operator in the market, and now we got JEP and other people to come. We also saw the country in the need to have other people coming in the sector, okay, other private operators. Now, how do you do that? You have to be able to showcase to the world, look, Liberia is ready to allow private sector participation in our energy space than in the past. So we need this forum to interact, to get our legal framework that we have all the stakeholders involved, have the National Investment Commission involved, we have the Ministry of Justice involved, we have, you can just name them out, the ministry, all those players who we know play an important role in private sector participation in the country. We had them involved. We presented our legal framework. We had the LERC, who is a regulator. It's very important for to talk about this. The EU have also spent a lot of money and alongside with MCA and Millennium Challenge to have our regulator. Today we can boost up our regulator on our market. And even quite recently, we really know that our regulator they are been running very high. We're in the short space of establishment, they have been running very high within the region. So that's also a plus. So we need this forum to tell people that we have this, we have these assets, we have the capacity, we have the projects, what are your interests? It's not a one-day thing. It's a process. So we started the process December 1st and December 2nd, as Nelson just elaborated on, and we are subsequently going to make follow-up on those interests that were expressed. Okay, I mean the forum is not enough to talk about everything right now, but yes, we have this.
So did we have international investors participating? And maybe if you were to name one or two of the countries, whether they came from Europe, they came from Africa yet, and so forth, and also local people too, local investors, were they also a part of the forum?
Yeah, we have a few. Now, I can't get it off my head. A few local participants were very important, especially those in the solar, in the renewable area, in the solar area. We also have people from Belgium.
Okay.
We even give opportunity to some investors to even make presentations on what they have, on what they think they can do for us. So that was also part of the program. So happen from all walks of life. Good for us. We had ICRI.
We had the Aurora's representative. Tusu sent a representative, and Aurora is one institution in ECOWAS that is basically tied to electricity development for the region. So having a representative of Aurora to that forum is even give a more boost that yes, that Aurora is on the path of incorporating the private sector into its energy sector.
Wow.
So
just to add up a little bit more, you see, currently, over the last 3 to 4 years cycle, the EU have committed 100 million euros to our energy sector. 100 million completely in assets, primarily in distribution and few in generation. But half of that investment was done in Morovia over the last couple of years. Okay,
including this Congo Town belt.
The Congo Town belt. If you see right now, along the Tottenham Boulevard, those concrete poles you see, the four on the project we call Morovia consolidation. Morovia, when we started to create when we started after the war, EU one of the first donor that started to do the small leg today and the big leg tomorrow. So at the donor level, EU continue to commit for intervention in Montreal City.
Okay.
So half of that funding was used. We built a brand new substation that we commissioned some time ago in Kokotown.
Yeah.
Okay, it was station
Around the calendar area.
beyond it. It was the most modern substation you can find in this country today.
Okay.
That's also that brought great relief to the single belt.
And the EU is supposed to be going to, what are we doing about Buchanan? Because I heard, that the EU is supposed to be supporting.
So we have a whole, again, another commitment.
Okay.
We have a whole 42 million euros committed for Buchanan, Greenville, towards the southeast. Currently, we are carrying on some feasibility studies.
Feasibility studies going on now.
Currently, in fact, we almost done with feasibility studies.
That means the people of Greenville or Sino County, even though it's not now, but they should be getting happy gradually that,
The light is already in the tunnel. For this
so
area.
they will get electricity.
Yeah, the only thing about electricity is that, in the electricity market, it's the sector is such that it's not something you can go and buy on the shelf. You cannot go in a store and say, just give me something from the shelf that you buy on TV. So you got to do a lot of planning.
Yeah.
You got to do a lot of studies. You got to do a lot of, a lot of input. You have to be placed in these projects to keep them up and running. Okay, so that's the formalities we are working on, and to ensure that these things, it happen.
Okay, so let's get back to Nelson. So Nelson.
Yeah. So some of the benefit of the EU project, you can see from Iyedeweye Junction to RRA.
Okay.
I know people see a pole being erected along the RRA belt. You will not know where it comes from.
Even the communities.
Yes,
You see,
thank you.
poles.
So that project, the RRA corridor and from Pribo to Fishtown is the EU project under the LEAP.
Okay.
So under the LEAP project, that's why you see these things happening. Now let's get to Buchanan. EU has also committed, SCSG got a substation in Buchanan. And that substation.
And people say the current is right in the substation, and the people cannot use it.
Of course.
Yeah.
But let me say this. When we came here for the first time, Guanon said that the investment in electricity is huge. It is not something, as Moni said, that you just go and buy one decade bill and then you start to sell. It is not like that. To transmit current from just this point, 1 kilometer, it costs you a lot of money. Transmission lines, the poles. So it's not just something that you can just do overnight. Now, the EU committed project with the CSG station in Buchanan, that feasibility is done by NARAS. Up to now, the report has been made available.
They have completed with the report.
Yes,
Feasibility studies.
Yes, last week we were on Zoom.
Okay.
And they were telling us some of the plans they have to start that project. But
Okay.
they will have to, because you have to consider the market cycle.
Okay.
They will do all of what they can do. You need an operator.
Okay.
So
who
the
will be
return.
involved with the distribution?
Thank you.
Okay.
So you have to consider the dividend, the return on investment. What will keep the operator operating? So it's not an overnight thing. Our
Okay.
people need to be patient. The light is already here as we speak. So you can see, I was just sharing with you that we're having a stable current and no outages.
Yeah, but the plan, the feasibility being done now, which is a good thing. I know the government is pushing a lot on that to ensure that because Buchanan in terms of commercial activities besides Monrovia, in terms of port, Buchanan has this opportunity. In fact, the special economic zone.
Oh, yes.
The project consider all of that. The project consider the port. The project consider the special economic zone that the government has envisioned for that city.
You have ArcelorMittal that want to consume some of the
Exactly.
capacity.
They are all been
Exactly.
considered in the project.
So you had a huge market there.
Of course.
So
So as you see today, Numa is boasting of electricity. I'm sure and convinced that as per the discussion that ongoing, by next year, before we get to the 6th month of next year, something was sparkling in Buchanan.
a lot of work.
Something was sparkling in Buchanan.
Oh.
I can assure you that, because as I speak to you, the Deputy Minister of Energy is ensuring that all of the energy projects that are ongoing be done so that the Liberian people can have access to electricity.
Wow, so that the Liberian people can have access to electricity. Like we said earlier, electricity is very key in terms of
Economic
economic development by looking at industrialization.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because
Oh yeah.
when we're talking about having an industrial country without electricity, it's going to be very difficult. Very difficult. Because yes, investors will look at security, they look at several things, rule of law, they'll look at, your laws, how it protects them and so forth. But one key thing they look for too, which we know Liberia is safe, as a country where people move about, yeah, of course, you may have little crimes here and there, but you have to compare Liberia with many other countries, Liberia far better. But electricity is very key. I just see how happy people are in my home village of Sergeant Colley Town in Bone County. Electricity at night, I'm telling you something,
Thank you, Mr. Sal. Thank you that you can identify
some people
that.
are so happy to see electricity banga go around.
Of course.
Go to Nimba and so forth. So that's something that we need to put a lot into. So, money, you are working with a team, that's very involved with this. I know you put a lot of money into the investor forum and so forth. Yeah, so some of the investors were presenting, what they think. What are some of the things that they were presenting? Are they interested in power generation? Because generation will be, whether it is solar, whether it is building a hydro. I know the country is thinking that, moving forward, we should be able to actually have a generation of not just 88 megawatt, 88 plus 20 at the peak now. Plus 20 megawatt, we'll be talking about 120. But there's something in Nimba at the Herbert Debating Dam. There's a project that's going to be another one in River G.
Even in Lofa.
In Lofa,
In
also.
Lofa currently,
This
project.
They are
in Sino.
in Sino. Sino,
Under the EU program, we are constructing a 2 megawatt hydropower plant
2 megawatt hydro
on the
power
Sino,
in
on the Sino River.
Sino River.
Yeah.
Has the feasibility started?
Yes, it's part of the same.
It's part of the Buchanan substation feasibility study.
So you are part of the 42 million dollars.
Yes, part of the
euro.
market. So what will happen? I can just step in a little bit more. What will happen to the state of Greenville is we are going to energize the state of Greenville with initial solar energy.
Okay.
Because it takes time to
So
construct.
you're talking about just a street?
No,
For
not
street
street,
light?
no, homes
Oh,
connection.
homes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Connection of homes and businesses in there. Okay.
You want to do it like what they have in Totota?
Yes.
The same in Totota?
Yeah, so it's a grill. It's a
Okay.
mini
Okay,
grill.
a mini grill.
Yeah, mini grill solar because
okay.
it will take time to construct on
The hydro,
So
okay.
while the hydro is being constructed, then the solar will initially energize the city. So as soon as the hydro is completed, then
You just connect.
you connect them. So
Okay.
you have two sources because sometimes our rivers are all stream rivers. So
Okay.
the solar will still remain there in the event that there's low river tide.
Yeah.
The solar can also back the city up. So
Oh.
that is intervention, very unique intervention to support the city of that city in alone. And that's what comes in again with the private investor firm. So in that area, the audio operator, the IREA, which is sponsor for that program, our
contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll contract the
agreement.
operator. Our operator will go and obtain a license from the regulator,
Okay.
and that operator have the ability to what? At times going to expand the network within, around
Other villages.
and other cities that are emerging, like that. So that's the idea. That's why you see the investor forum is very important for us.
So, but you mentioned about some of the presentations that were done, and I'm very interested to know what are those presentations that were done. What are the investors who attended the forum? Some of them have interest. Say, look, we can come and generate power and sell it, or we can come and help you with distribution or transmission and so forth. How do they see the sector?
So, Mr. Sal,
Yeah,
this investor forum first was to market.
which I understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, presenters from all of the government institutions,
Okay.
they told
Including the
word.
Ministry of Finance that did the macro.
So we're telling the word that we have priority projects.
Okay.
Besides all of discussion, we have projects that we need quick intervention. We
Okay.
have projects that we need intervention in 2 years. We
Okay.
have projects that we need to be done now. But the issue of transmission, as Mr. Gordon said, it got some exclusivity because transmission, no country will want to give that transmission to somebody easily.
So LEC will not allow that.
No, LEC will not allow that. Even the government not allow that. So what's going to happen? Those transmission bit that we're talking about, we want the donors to come, like EU. EU is doing this RI highway and also Freetown. So donors could commit themselves to say yes. We're going to transmit current from this point to this point, which we encourage. And then the distributor can start from where the transmission ends to continue to hustle and other distribution. As I can say today, the Bureau, per policy, has been divided into 7 zones, electric distribution area. And this policy document has been validated. So, as you can see, Jogo Energy Power is in like region 2.
Okay.
Masquerado is like region 1 and Magibi in region 1. So the country has been divided in 7 distribution areas. And these areas will not be operated by government.
Okay.
These areas will be operated by private sector. Like Jongo took the bold step. And the good thing about it is that Liberians are getting brave now to undertake investment in the electricity sector.
But it has a market.
Oh yes,
you know?
yes.
Yeah.
What happens is
Consumers
that
are already
it
waiting.
has huge,
Yeah.
it has huge capital. It's huge capital intensive to invest in electricity. I mean, it requires a great cost. But trust me, it got dividends. It got return on investment. So once the Liberians can take up the responsibility to say yes, I will invest my money in the electricity sector. Trust me, you're not going to do a business in electricity and lost easy. And yes,
For real.
Yeah, I would say JP the presentation you're talking about. If I tell you that today, JP have over 1,000, 10,000 now.
10,000.
Yes, customer connection in Nima.
Wow.
Of course. So you see what we're talking about?
Yeah, if you add Bon Conte, boom.
Let's consider AC. AC started by 2006. AC we have 104,000. We had AC is at 2016.
Yeah.
They had 46,400.
46,000.
46,410 customers. By 2028, it will raise up to 71,470. At 2020, it came up to 104,186.
Wow.
Today, 2022, we're talking about 190,426 customer base.
190,000.
990,426 customer base
For LEC.
for AC. So it tells you that the sector is growing, but it requires with more support. You know, energy goes with road, energy goes with water, energy goes with investment. For example, if you were to empower Buchanan right now, somebody that's doing fishery will say, yes, I want to build a coastal in Buchanan.
It's definitely.
Because they were not worried on electricity.
So even the local fishermen
The local
will keep their
fishermen-
fish in the freezers.
Let me
make more profit
Let
on
me
it.
give you a story.
Yeah.
It shocked me when we went to, I was privileged to go to Gambia with Honorable Guano, and we took a tour on the beaches. Trust me, the people got a storage for fish, freezing.
Wow.
So you don't easily see waste when it comes to fish.
Wow.
Once your fish comes from the water, it's
Straight.
preserved. If it is not able to be marketed now, you go straight and freeze it. You come tomorrow and you sell. Who told you Liberia can do it?
Who can do it?
Thank you.
You need the energy.
We can do it. All we need is the energy. You can have to see Newtown. See our places there. See the fishes we got. But the fishes you see it getting rotten. Because the people don't have energy to preserve the fish for the next day market. And so energy plays a major role. Today JP got a huge base of employment just from the electricity sector. That connection you're talking about, right now, if you're at JP, you have over 1,000 Liberians. And the policy is now telling you that if you were to establish a distribution today and you need an engineer, you must train Liberians. The policy has called for that.
And I saw that
The
with
local
most of
content.
the projects that were implemented and foreign companies were hired, but then alongside they have these PYP or young professionals.
Yeah, what we did on what we are doing currently on all our programs is that we're going to incorporate interns.
Yeah.
Especially those at the senior level.
Senior
We don't have too much academic load. Because the idea is you go to the classroom, you study basically, but on the field, and you see on the field is something else. And the other part here is that most of the projects are built by EPC contractors.
Okay.
EPC contractors are contracted they're only there for the project.
Yeah.
And when they leave, we need
Sustainability.
our brothers and sisters to sustain and maintain the network.
Yeah.
It's just the whole idea. So we
And I saw that when I was at an event, where the EU had closed a project.
yeah.
They were doing certification of the contractor. And guess what I saw? The stories that were narrated by people who were students earlier, but now they've graduated,
Of course.
and some of them have actually established their own firms, and they have employed. I saw a young guy telling me how much money he makes now because even the LEC contracts him now, his company, to actually do some of the works for them.
Sure.
So I was
So
surprised.
so the network is very big. You need maintenance company. Once you didn't the line didn't maintain, no matter what happened on the maintenance line, there will be issue of fault. There'll be this, and so these companies, I can tell you, most of the brilliant kids. I mean, that testimony was so wonderful. That small now is standing on their own to open their own little small company that will work alongside with the big company.
Yeah.
Because that's the model. That's the model that happened. LEC is as a big entity responsible for their area, but notwithstanding, you need people to actually go on the field, contractors to go on the field to maintain the network. That's why it's important. So once we have more of that in our system, our problem will be solved, because sometimes they respond to some of the issues. So we are trying to adapt as much. So even in the South East project, we'll make sure that we even continue that particular program to have our brothers and sisters knowledgeable on the field.
Okay, so we'll go back to Nelson. But Nelson, as you deliberate, I also want to find out from you, because all things being constant, if we want to have reliable and stable currency in Liberia, we have to make sure that we invest a lot.
Yeah.
And the investors will want return on their investment, right? So, but what is happening in the sector? For example, these projects, EU projects that they have in the different parts of Monserrato, and then even the World Bank and so forth, they go there, connect the homes, do the transmission, the distribution, as well as providing even meters. And then they put up, they power those meters and so forth. People using the electricity in their homes. But then guess what? Some of the money we're talking about, I agree, like the EU and so forth.
Yeah,
But then if you do the World Bank, that loan will take money. Actually, we need to pay that money back. It is money that we'll credit, but then we need to pay it back. All of us will pay it back. So even if you go sell your rubber, the taxes you pay, or your income, that you get as a result of working somewhere, the income tax, all of that, constitute, where they get money from to actually pay back the money we borrow. But guess what? If people are still using electricity, they go to bypass the meters, and then they want free electricity, then we're in troubles. Because let me be frank with you, I'm told that from our side, certain area, the CSG line, the power from Ivory Coast, they were able to direct it in certain communities, right? So where I am recently, I can tell you, the light doesn't blink. Okay, so but how do we pay back the money, or how do we pay for the electricity we get from Ivory Coast if we decide to steal the current? So that's something that's very key with LEC. I see Mary Brock moving around, which is good. And some people say, oh man, that's slow, that's small video. But that is something that Liberians need to look at. If we're going to get reliable current and available for us, we must ensure that we don't allow what is happening to continue. So is the Ministry of Mines and Energy working with the LEC on that? Is it a team working together to make sure that that doesn't happen? And so forth. What is because you are a policy arm of the government in terms of energy, in which electricity is a part of,
Mr. Sao, if we were to ask Honorable Katam, what is the challenge facing LEC today, he will tell you power theft.
Wow.
Power theft is a major challenge.
Liberians are listening.
Liberians are listening. Power theft is a major challenge. Because, as I said, we are clapping. Yes, your SG has been connected. But let me tell you, there's a huge liability that comes with CRSG.
We shall know.
Note that you're paying for that current, you're not going to, is not use and pay.
Just the line for the current
the
to
line.
pass through the line, we pay
Thank
almost
you.
$4 million
So
every
they
year.
pay-
Yeah, $4 million every year.
Both the power purchase agreement and the TSA.
Yeah.
The bureau will have to commit itself to payment.
Yeah.
Or else we'll have trouble.
That's true. They'll
And
cut us
now,
off.
yes.
They'll cut us off.
And it will be a sad thing to get used to the electricity. Then after like sometimes you see that you start to have outages, AC is not stable. So the bureau has got her own commitment to this process. The commitment is that we must shoulder the responsibility to pay our AC bills.
Yeah.
We will not allow the Liberia management team fall so that they say, oh, Liberia is not able to manage
But-
her own thing. We're
I
not
can,
going to
I
allow
can tell
that.
you for the short term, Captain have been at LEC, and I'm not going to do it like the the white chicken they say when you embrace it.
Oh,
too
yes.
much.
Oh,
But
yes.
real life, he has that vigor, he has that energy, he has a passion
Of course.
for turning that place
Of
around.
course.
So Liberians have to support him to make sure that happens.
Of course, and before the Liberia management team, the ministry has been asked, is Liberians very prepared to take over responsibility of REC? And Mr. Ogonto answer was yes. We got Liberians that can take over the management of REC. And so it was that statutory.
Okay.
Are they very prepared? You see people making commitment. So we can't sit there and allow this process fail.
Okay.
We are begging the Liberian people.
Okay.
Try to pay your bills. See, man, bro, is so good. If you have had time to be on tap, fine. We are not cutting you off. We're cutting you off and telling you go and pay $50 for all of the time you have used this current.
For all the communities,
For
everywhere.
everywhere,
That's a holiday.
of course.
I remember a guy, our pastor in the community, he was crying. He said that somebody, he had just rented a house and then when they saw the electricity bill, almost $700. The person who been sitting in the car and he had to pay, he said, if you pay
So-
the meter will not work. So you just go pay $50 flat.
You go and
And then
pay
they will
your
clear everything
$50.
you are owing.
Well, you know these are bad debt, but I know REC is willing to take some of those responsibilities.
So that they move
So
forward.
that they move forward. Because if we are to say people will pay, you know how many years people have been using free current? One of the challenge the sector is facing right now is Maryland, the Southeast current, we got of course Bordeaux current.
Yeah, for Ivory
That
Coast.
current has been there for like 2 years now.
And the people been using it.
The people using the current and not paying anything. I heard
So, but do you have an operator there so far?
no,
Okay, so-
ARC is
So, I know that some people got to talk about
ARC is now I mean no that's a habit.
I know
People
similar
don't
thing
do.
happened in Nimba when Jongo Energy took over. They had to be collecting the back electricity bill from them.
Of course.
Every time you put $10, they will take $5 the money you owe.
Yeah,
And
sure.
then
But I
okay,
think-
so I think we need to we'll come back to you. We need to interact with the public. So we have yes, we have 10 more minutes left. At 9 o'clock, Supper George will be back here. But when I give the public the opportunity, and like I just want to say one thing before we give you the opportunity to call us on 080-514-096, 080-514-096. If you have somebody, you pay your electricity bill and somebody right by you stealing, make sure you expose that person. Because if you don't do, because of that person, the people will cut their current and yourself, you will suffer it. So I'm not going to allow anybody action to suffer me.
Exactly.
So you got to expose them. So
Of
if you
course.
can't read me there, just go inform the people. They got the LEC hotline. Mayor Bro and her team will move in our community. So we have to, because one person action will make it the whole community or the whole country will not get electricity.
Exactly.
You know, so that's
Exactly.
something very serious. So at
People,
this
people
point,
have to pay for what they use.
Yeah.
okay, so we will begin taking your calls now on 080-514-096. We have two guests in studios here, and like I said earlier, this program is relayed on several stations across the country, and that's how it will be. You know, as we continue with the program here, let's take this first call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and where you calling from? Foya. Oh,
we always tell the citizen of Nigeria, Lubagande, because I've seen the other president, Eddie Johnson, and Lubagande. He's the president that people that we are not being done. The major thing now, some of them are doing is each community serving 2 lives or community serving 3 lives. That one you can't see it. But because of the criminal, not let you see the government and they like you escape. Therefore, for the government and the short power yesterday, they see back from President Weah. Don't bring water to a 3-day legend. Let just take it one time.
Oh.
The money, the government will not love the Bagate. It will down that money from me. We thank God for the president family. We thank God for all of you that what you're doing.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you there, brother. I told you that the program is being relayed on several radio stations across the country. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Your name, where you calling from?
This is Samuel Sigma calling from Lamasi VOA community in Brazil.
Okay, so go ahead quickly.
Yeah, let me say thank you for all your deliberations this morning. They are all good, but I'm concerned with the issue of this current. What is happening to Brazil? We can since 2018, LEC came to the community center, who are on that post, but we can't see anything, no wire coming, nothing, and we can't get anything from LEC.
So which part of Broville you are? Which part of Broville?
Coming specifically from Blamasi community.
Blamasi. Okay, Blamasi. Okay, community. VOA. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's take the other caller. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, your name and where you calling from?
I'm Roland Plateau calling you from here,
Roland Plateau for ERWA?
Yeah?
Okay, go ahead quickly. Is that the Roland Plateau from Phoebe Astrid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'm not telling you again, thank you. But you know, since the Elizabeth King then recharged, I think the thing that went on, but we're calling the office.
Uh-huh.
Anything that came here to for the party, they then checking around to what we hear, they talking to war, calling one for some meeting. Now you're meeting about stuff up. They came back and said, okay, the meter is okay. But when they left after the recharge, it can be very difficult. We're calling the office.
Okay.
The way out.
Okay. I think
Really, so for me to even read the calling, how many calling I see that, they can be hard. So I don't know the way out.
okay. I think that's a good concern. Good morning. Yeah, your name and where you calling from, man? Okay, so I'm telling you, his alarm, the Chigusu factory, is a hotspot, according to her. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Officer Shaw. My name is Martin Mitchell, and I'm calling from Bangkok, Bangkok.
Let's hear you, Martin.
I want to thank you this morning for the conversation. I think it's a real forward in investment that you need to speak. And that this kind of conversation be held on the regular basis as to people the city to understand the important of the things the legislative we are trying to enjoy in our country. So this morning I just called to say thank you for the conversation.
Okay, Martin. It's calling from Banga. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name and where you calling from? Few seconds.
I'm Jerry Babu, you calling from State Our community.
Yeah, go ahead quickly, sir.
I have a problem. I have a meter in my house, and the World Bank came and put meter on the house. But when they recently, they took the CIU and carry away. How can where can I go to get my CIU to go to rate?
Oh, they took the CRU. Is it that you were stealing current or what? What happened? Why they take the CRU?
The World Bank came and put current in the home and developed before I had 3 apartments in, so the apartment was occupying.
Oh, the World Bank itself. Okay.
So they are saying that the meter is for them.
Oh, okay. No. No, you got to go to LEC to register. They will carry meter there to you. I think I'm told that the meter is around what, 75 or what? I think far lower than that from what I heard. Yeah, I don't know the specific amount, but you go to pay for.
I have the meter on the house that the cigarette you they carry.
Okay, okay. So then you have the report that is LEC anyway. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Sao, and good morning to your studio guests. My name is Patrick Kule, and I joined the conversation from Panapon County.
Yeah, let's hear you quickly, Patrick.
Thank you very much. And you see, for Liberia to progress, we all need to work off modality and forget about ourselves and put this country first. You see, LEC can only survive when CDC have a holistic approach towards it. But sitting in the electricity is not even serving us in this country. So as we speak, if we kind of bang out people even have that because ulcer and I see electricity to be very safe, including Bangaya and Memorial.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
so LEC, any power is with their best and we're abroad, and thank you.
Okay, so we have so many calls. Next time we'll try to allocate more time for the interaction with the public. But you know, there's a maiden edition, so we don't have time now. So we have to go back. So sorry for all of you, to all of you rather who are calling. Next week we show you have more time and we have another conversation here on the program. But let's go back to our guests and get a 30 seconds for their closing remarks. Starting with you, Nelson.
So let me say thank you for the show, and let me willingly say the ministry remains committed to supporting the management team at REC. Thank you.
Morning.
Yeah, so thank you for the show. I mean, the interaction was very healthy. At least we have been able to inform our people what is going. So we need to can hope for the future is bright in the energy market. Our people sometimes have to have a little patience because in the energy sector, getting the job done requires a lot of formalities, and with time, everybody will be happy and serve the required power they need to provide economic growth.
So with time, you know, we will be able to solve some of those problems, and then we have energy growth, and that will actually support economic growth in our country. So, well, folks, we've been here from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. The Department of Economic Management is the host of this program here on LBS. It will be here every Tuesday from 8 to 9 o'clock. We want to say thanks to OKFM, Radio Banga, Radio Kentoma, Radio Live, Radio Kakata, Radio Joy Africa, Radio Gompa, Super Bongis, Radio Nimba, yes, so the station, we don't have time now in our favor. So, but I have been your presenter, James Double Nakula Sao, from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. Thanks to all of you who actually call in to